I heard this story and I thought this was a crazy ass story, but it's interesting because it talks about a lot of the things we talk about: corruptions, bribes, and hey, some people can't deal with what their future reality may or may not be.
Begin with that developing story out of Orange County, and former judge and district attorney under investigation for accepting bribes took his own life as the FBI moved in earlier today.
At some point during the
Ain't that some crazy shit? That's not fucking crazy. Like, bro, like that's I don't know. That's fucking batshit crazy. We know about bribes over at this channel. We know about bribes and people stealing and doing all sorts of wrong and illegal shit, especially politicians. But I heard this. Somebody sent me this, and I was like, "Yo, this is wild." This dude was a former judge, an assistant district attorney. He was taking bribes, and the feds came and just delete. That was it. That's a wrap. That's absolutely insane. Like, yeah, that dude was new. He was not built for prison. He didn't want no parts of it. Like I don't know. I thought that hearing that headline was absolutely crazy. I actually wanted to dive in a little bit farther because I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, how much did he take? From the looks of that picture, it didn't look like he was in the lap of luxury, but I don't know.
Developing story out of Orange County, and
Let's get through the
former
whole
judge
story.
and district attorney under investigation for accepting bribes took his own life as the FBI moved in earlier today.
At some point during the chaos, an FBI agent opened fire. Exactly why, now under investigation. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis live in Campbell Hall with the very latest. Marcus.
Well, David and Liz.
Yeah, this happened like 8 days ago, a week ago. Just FYI, yeah, this happened like a week ago.
Well, David and Liz, a senior retirement community here in rural Orange County, an unlikely backdrop for this violent.
God damn, he killed himself in a retirement community. He deleted he deleted himself. That's crazy as hell.
Confrontation that took place this morning, but that's exactly what happened as the feds moved in to arrest that former assistant district attorney on bribery charges.
Scary. Sad.
And shocking, a violent end to a scandalous case. Stewart Rosenwasser, a former judge and assistant DA, is dead after an armed confrontation with FBI agents who went to his home to arrest him this morning.
I was standing by the front door. My friend went outside the front door. They screamed at us to get in the house, get in the house.
Sources say Rosenwasser pointed a gun at an agent who fired a shot. Rosenwasser then barricaded himself and it's believed fatally shot himself. A federal grand jury indicted the 72-year-old on bribery charges, accusing him of launching an investigation in 2022 when he was working in the district attorney's office to help a longtime associate. The man, known as Marty Sudani, accused his nephew of stealing nearly $2 million from him. In a text, Rosenwasser allegedly says, "I'm putting maximum effort into this. We will utilize all available assets." Court documents show copies of money orders and checks made out to the lawyer. And in another exchange, Rosenwasser allegedly wrote, "I will always protect you." And
damn, this dude, this might be that might actually be an interesting indictment to read. This is a crazy ass story.
Allegedly wrote, "I will always protect you and help you." Rosenwasser abruptly resigned earlier this year. In a statement, his former boss said, "It's truly heartbreaking that it ended this way. My heartfelt condolences go out to his family." Well, all told, Rosenwasser is accused of taking $63,000 in bribes. The man who allegedly cut those checks also indicted. And we're live in Campbell Hall. Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
That's a crazy ass story. Like, what? Like $60-something thousand, 72-year-old guy, like 74, whatever. He was 70s is you up there if you're in your 70s. Like, hey, let's just keep it a buck. Like, I ain't gonna say the guy was ancient, but if you're in your 70s, my pops is 70s, and I'm not a spring chicken over here. That's a crazy ass story. I actually may take a look at that indictment. All over $60-something thousand. That's crazy as hell. I don't know. I thought that was a really weird ass, wild ass story. It may be an inappropriate question, but would the price of the house be discounted because of the incident that occurred there? Probably yes. Actually, it probably will. that's always a question I ask. If you were actually purchasing a home and you're like, oh man, this is like, it's no such thing as a dream home, but you say, this is my dream home. I love everything about it. But you knew that like a terrible crime happened there. Would you still be comfortable buying that house? I don't know. A lot of people said they wouldn't buy it, but me, I'm like, nah. Like, hey, a deal is a deal. I'm gonna go around and we're gonna pray over this house, and we're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna get all the chakras in line and everything. But yeah, that's crazy that that dude could not deal with what he was about to have to face, which was actually being in custody. Is one of the questions we talked about. They put Diddy on S watch immediately when he got into custody because, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're putting him on that because he's a billionaire. To go from being a billionaire to being in custody is such a big leap. He may be a risk to harm himself. You don't got to be a billionaire. It's a big leap to go from being homeless on the street to actually being in custody. Like being on the homeless and street is one thing, but you don't got to worry about a whole different set of problems versus being in custody. So I don't think it's a wealth thing. I think that just going in custody sucks. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care if you from the streets. I don't care if you from the burbs. I don't care if you white collar. Man, ain't nothing fun about having to go with prison. And this dude really clearly identified that he couldn't fucking deal with it. He shot himself. A dozen people asked the people with the what did you say? Let's see. Low money. All of these bribes is low money. All of these bribes is low money. It's free fucking flights. It's a fur coat. It's tickets to a game. And I don't even know. Normally, if I were to actually read the indictment, I would look at what his job title is. I'm sure if he's an assistant district attorney, he's a state employee. So you probably can literally Google him and find out what his salary was. So I don't know. But even people who make substantial salaries, they tend to do the silliest shit for just such a small amount of money. I don't know. The shit never don't make any sense to me. Over 67,000 bucks. He didn't check himself out over 67,000 bucks. He checked himself out over the fact that he didn't want to go to prison and be someone's boyfriend, or he didn't want to have to deal with that. It wasn't necessarily over what the money was. Well, it was over what the money was, but he couldn't deal with what the consequences of that was going to be because he knew he wasn't built to be able to stay whatever amount of time that he thought he could potentially get in custody.